is your Amen. Here's the story. What will they have to say?
Hey, thank you. I'll learn this one. Thanks, guys.
Hello.
Hey, everybody.
We are going to tell you the story of the end of a friendship.
But not ours.
Not ours, we're still friends.
We've been friends for 13 years. Someone wooed that.
Thank you.
We make it work. We met in high school on Long Island, which we refer to as the Guido Jungle.
And found each other, thank God, and bonded very quickly over being sweaty weirdos in a sea of Long Island Guidos.
Yeah.
And we stuck together. We had a whole group of friends.
Yeah, we had a group of friends, and at the center of our group was this girl, Kay. And Kay was just, like, awesome. She was cool and funny and pretty. And
she was like the female protagonist in like every great teen novel. You just like want to be her. She's perfect. And she like had these cool visual journals that she would make and made perfect mix CDs. Every song was brought over.
Which is important
perfect.
when you're a teenager.
Yeah, she was just more aware in general, politically, about art, about music. We saw Hedwig and the Angry Inch for the first time at her house. She
Which
showed
says
us
something.
things.
Yeah. She was good at that kind of stuff while we were like sweating and like eating our boogers. Well, maybe that was just
watching Wet
me.
Hot American Summer every single night.
And then Kay moved. She moved to New Jersey, which is the same as Long Island, but just like across the ocean. And so we saw her less. But we visited her, we saw her less. And then Kay and I both went to school in the city here. So I stayed kind of close with her. She started dating this guy, Juan, and she started developing these like really like political, she was like a political activist. She was going to Cuba and just doing really cool things and thriving on that like energy.
Had this really cool, diverse group of socially minded friends. She was in the social work
And I was
world.
still just picking my boogers all the way through college. But then, college ended and we started to get distant.
Yeah.
All of us kind of lost touch a little bit.
And I was in college in Virginia, so I didn't see her as much as it is, but that last year I only saw her one time. And everyone had come down to a party in Virginia. Everyone was wasted. And Kay's boyfriend of 4 years at that point, Juan, tried to make out with me at a party. And it was really unexpected. And I had been dating someone for 4 years too, kind of pushed him away. And the next day I felt guilty. And when I went to address it, before I could, Kay was like, "Oh, I heard that Juan tried to make out with you and you're weird about it. That's so funny. You're so weird."
Like, what?
Taken aback because also like we were how old? 21. We had no idea what polyamory was. It was like the first time we'd ever heard of it. And
you were like basically married.
Yeah, everyone was married and this was happening. Something had changed while we were away from Kay, and we didn't. That was the first clue.
Right, and then she reappeared a couple of years later. She started calling us on the phone from something she called from Landmark. Which, because my brain is all about food, I was like, why is she calling me from the Landmark Diner
in
Tribeca? Like, okay, I guess she likes eggs or something. But she would call all of us. She'd call all our friends and tell us that she's a racist and she's like curing her racism.
These were not light phone calls.
No, we were like, what? She'd call from a landline phone at the Landmark. It was so weird.
A lot of noise in the background all the time. She was calling me too. She asked me, her straight, broke-ass friend, if I wanted to go on a $600 weekend to learn how to please a woman with my mouth.
Just $600 for a cunnilingus course upstate. The huge.
She also put me on an email list. I did not ask to be on this email list.
I did. I wanted to be on this list.
Elliot was so jealous.
Tell him what it was called.
For the Urban Adebex Transformative Self-Healing Circle for Women of Eastern European Descent and Anti-Racist Allies. Women with a Y, by the way, to make that clear. And she had, we didn't see her at all.
We never saw her.
But Facebook updates, like, life is empty and meaningless, and it's empty and meaningless, and it's empty meaninglessness.
What? Excuse me?
So we said goodbye, pretty much.
We were like, bye.
For a long
guys.
time. We thought that was kind of, she was going to fade away. And
then she reappeared again.
We got an email inviting us to
Okay.
Kay and Juan's civil union ceremony.
Not an invitation in the mail, an email for a fake wedding.
For a fake wedding.
But there was a registry.
Two straight people having a civil union.
Getting civilly unionized or whatever.
A registry attached via an Excel document that looked like it was on a Angel Fire website, like under construction.
And the things they were asking for were not Tupperware or dishware.
Language lessons.
Swahili lessons, neti pots.
One-way airfare to Haiti. One-way airfare to Haiti.
Bulk herbs.
Yeah, neti pots, donations to random charities, CSA shares.
So we were like, what the fuck is happening? But obviously we are going to whatever this is.
Wedding. Yeah.
So we went to whatever this was. It took place on it took place
at
the top of Sunset Park
in the winter.
Fucking freezing, and we get there at like 11. We get there right before 11 because it's supposed to start at 11.
Didn't start till after 12.
Didn't start till after 12. We get there, it's fucking freezing. Nobody's there. There's like an AIDS quilt surrounded by like 4 blocks of folding chairs.
It's like an arena facing in on an AIDS quilt with like bowls of water and reeds and
salt
shit.
and bowls and pots and all this shit, blankets, and we're starving.
And it's so windy.
It's so cold.
That all the chairs are blowing away and we're the only ones there. So we're suddenly responsible to keep the arena intact. And so we're like grabbing the chairs and fighting with them the whole time. Finally, people start to show up, and then Juan shows up.
The groom, quote unquote groom, showed up.
First time I've seen Juan since he cornered me in the bathroom at a party, and so he walks up to us, and we're like, "Congratulations on your wedding!" And he looks like he's about to hug me, and then he, instead of hugging me, runs his hands all the way down my body and goes, "You look so sexy" on his wedding day.
Happy wedding!
Happy congratulations!
Yay! Cool.
Finally, people start to arrive. A little after 12, it starts, and we know that it's starting because a transgender John Hodgman lookalike raises their maracas into the wind and screams, "We invoke the spirit of the inner child."
Okay.
Could barely hear it. All right.
Okay.
And the alien abduction began.
Oh, it was nuts. It was
rapid fire.
Ethnic things, just random ethnic things.
Not related at all. Reeds and candles, and she's wearing a prom dress to her wedding, by the way.
And they're getting up and they're sitting down.
They're
walking,
kneeling,
pacing.
standing up, pacing, jumping over brooms. People are chanting "Jump the broom." We cannot
Which is usually for an
word.
African American ceremony, and neither of them are African American.
Right.
But let's have fun, guys. Let's just have fun with this. We did. We had fun. It was insane.
It was long.
But it was a long time, and finally, when it ended, we were ready to go to the church because we were going to a church, apparently. But the directions were written on confetti that blew away with the wind. So
everyone else seemed to know where they were going.
Well, we followed an old man in a walker because we were like, if anybody's going to want to get there now, it's this guy.
Safe bet. Yeah.
We followed him to his car.
In the other direction.
Fortunately, and he would not give us a ride.
Nope.
So we walked 20 blocks in the freezing cold in Sunset Park.
And we finally
to this
arrive.
church. And we get to this church, and as we approach, I notice a little plaque, and I was like, guys, look at this plaque. And the plaque says this church is owned by the Landmark Society.
Ding.
So it all made sense. She was part of a cult.
Our
the
friend
Landmark
was in a
Society
cult.
is like a pyramid scheme cult thing.
And we were at her cult wedding.
In the cult, in like the mecca of the cult.
This is where she had been calling us from.
This is why she was in this neighborhood. This is why she lived in this neighborhood, to
why
be near this church.
else do you live in Sunset Park? It's so far away.
But we were cold and hungry, so we went into the church, and we were like just excited to be warm. And we led in, and we're led right into the parking lot.
Back outside.
Where they had set up tents next to the dumpsters.
There's plenty of room, not near the dumpsters. We are right next to
those
they
dumpsters.
They are not empty dumpsters.
Just like purple shit draped everywhere, fake crystals.
It was like a quinceañera block party in hell.
Now the worst part about this is that we were starving, and there was not a sign of food, but there were like 4 jugs of Box of Joes from Dunkin' Donuts. Mm-hmm. Cool, like what?
No
I'm not
creamer.
sending you to Haiti if this is all you're giving me. No way, you're staying here. So there's Box of Joes, there's like Coors Light. We grab the Coors Light.
Most of it to the table with us.
We just start drinking.
We are drinking for 2 hours because food doesn't show up for 2 hours. So at the end of 2 hours, we are drunk, angry, fucking freezing, and everyone else is thrilled because the audience is half Colombians and half cult members. So
they were
everyone
pumped.
is excited.
Everyone was super duper pumped. And then the food finally arrived, which is exciting for me because I like food. So I ran to that line and got us a spot in line. And we're waiting in line, and this girl is standing in front of us, and she's wearing like a dress that looks, a skirt that looks like it's made of tinfoil, and it looked like Balloon Boy, like on her body.
And Balloon Boy had just happened at that point, so he kept saying that.
Well, I kept saying that, but also like the waft of smell from the garbage kept like overpowering us, and I was like, what is that stink? It stinks.
Does not have a stage whisper.
Well,
And his sister Alana and I both understand that it's not the dumpsters.
No, it's this girl in front of us. It's her pussy.
Yeah, she had pussy
Just
stink.
a rank ass pussy. So we had to just assign her the name Dumpster Twat.
DT.
DT, baby.
The rest of the day.
So Jackie was not hungry anymore,
We
nor were
lost-
my sister and her date.
No one was hungry except for Elliot.
I mean, I was still hungry. That stank didn't throw me. So I got to the front of the line, and guess what? They ran out of food. They ran out of food as I got to the front of the line.
It was not a long line.
It
either.
was not a long line, but I did get myself a cold risotto ball and a couple of fish bones. Fish bones, like I was Heathcliff the dumpster cat.
Picking the meat off the bones. And brought that back to the table where we were just continuing to get wasted and drink for warmth at that point, looking real sloppy.
My sister left to get coffee. People were leaving to get coffee.
Yeah, we were
because
leaving
The
to-
box of Joe's ran out, obviously.
There were only 4 of them.
But we only wanted to stay now. Well, I only wanted to stay because A, I wanted cake, and B, Jackie was gonna sing.
We were both supposed to sing. This was like a thing that we had agreed to do. And Elliot, as he does with everything in our friendship, I turn around and he's gone.
Peace, I'm out. I'm
He
not doing
decided-
this. Not this shit.
That was not going to happen, but I felt too guilty.
And she sang, and it was great. And then, we thought the talent portion of the evening, or what they called the creative expression of love time, was dwindling down.
There was slam poetry about Kay and Juan having sex.
About them having sex. And you should see
Very
Hayes'
specific.
Irish Catholic grandparents look like they were going
Thrilled.
to die if they hadn't died already. But so finally, we're like 6 or 7 hours in.
The sun is setting.
We're drunk as shit. And finally, they announced the last part of the creative expression of love time. And they announced this group as, listen carefully, the Incestual Harassment Society Incorporated African Dance Troupe.
We didn't get it wrong. We read it too.
Not ancestral. The Incestual Harassment Society Incorporated African Dance Troupe, which begs many questions. Why are you incorporated?
Right.
Who is paying for that? What is incestual harassment? Is that like when your grandma like flicks your pussy or something? Why is Africa involved in this?
And is this how you cure racism
Is this how you
in a
guys cure
weekend?
racism in a
somewhere?
weekend with this? So the pressure had.
It had built up
Built
to
to a
the
boil.
point of explosion, and thankfully, when that
Jackie was
happened,
taping.
I was taping.
We
And so-
brought a clip to show you just what that looked like. Enjoy this clip. You can hear the drums in the background. You notice the coffee cups and scarves. Oh, it was fun.
I did
It
not need
was
those
fun.
sunglasses.
It was like it's 4 in the afternoon and Jackie's got those sunglasses on. And so that was it. I mean,
The only reason we were still saying is that Elliot
I
insisted
needed
that
my
we
cake.
stay for cake.
Look, I figured if there was gonna be a payoff, it would be at least in the cake, right? Well, that cake did look good. It was like chocolate with like buttercream, and then I had a piece of it, and it wasn't chocolate. It was dirt, like dirt and soot, and like fucking figs and shit, and like whatever was in Dumpster Twat's rank pussy.
We got the fuck out
We
of
just
there.
left. I
We
was
took a
mad.
cab, went back to Elliot's apartment, and everyone slept for 6
We
hours.
slept for 6 hours.
Immediately,
You
we
just
woke
like
up.
that's what happens when you get drunk and you laugh that much, and then the cake is made of garbage. You fall asleep. You fall asleep.
We awoke in the dead of the night. And basically, we thought that was it. We were waving
we thought it was-
goodbye as they sailed away on the ship to Crazy. We were on the shore.
We thought like nothing could come of this.
Right.
So 2 years later, as is the pattern at this point, Kay called Jackie.
And I was really tired, and I didn't have it in me, and I picked up. And the first thing she said was, "Why haven't we heard from you?" And I said, "Because you went fucking crazy."
What'd she do, Jackie? What'd she say?
She started laughing like a maniac,
So what'd
proving my
so
point.
what'd you do?
I hung
She hung up the phone. And then Kay immediately called me, and I did not pick up the phone.
Because he's smarter.
Because I'm a
than me
genius.
And avoids conflict.
And she did leave me a voicemail in which she was laughing like a maniac, and while doing so saying, "So you think I'm crazy?" She's like,
but not angry. She was delighted.
She was basically doing an impression of Jack Nicholson as a crazy person. Oh God, what an okay.
And you know, like, you can tell in a recording, because I listened to this. You can tell when someone is in the middle of the street.
You know when someone's in the middle of the
street.
street.
She was in the middle of the street when
she was
was
street
yelling
urchin
that.
at this point.
And so our friend, who had been this like smart, amazing, funny person who had been a part of our lives, was now a street lunatic. And that was that. And there probably isn't a whole lot of chance that she's going to go back. She seems very happy. But it's probably going to get weirder from here, which means that when we get that baby shower invite,
we are so
going.
And we'll tell you about it then, too.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
This land marks my land. This colt was made for you and me. Oh, shit.